Hello and welcome to Outland Woodworks. My name is Shane, and today we're going to talk about my likes and some dislikes on this custom build. Let's get going. Well, I'd like to preface this entire video with the majority of these pros and cons are my personal preference or things that I've seen that I would like to be different or better, or they were great for me, or whatever they may be. Your mileage may vary. It really depends on what you like in your machines, what you don't, what you need, and what you don't need. So we are going to start on this side of the saw and just work our way that way. I'm going to start out talking about the ST1500. It's very well built. It operates very smoothly. Big help if you're going to cut any large stock, especially like panels and things like that. There were a few things I didn't like too much about it though. Or not that I necessarily didn't like it, but I wish would have been a little bit different. When you get your saw, that left wing isn't pre-drilled for this. I think it's a lost opportunity on Harvey's part. I think having 3 M10 holes pre-tapped in the side of this small wing for this exact setup would be super beneficial. And even if someone wasn't going to get the ST1500 table, they could use it to mount a rack to hang their blades from, or not use them at all, just 3 holes. But man, it would be such a convenience and such a great thing to add to the whole concept of using this table on their machines. Another thing that on the ST1500 that I think could use a little attention, and this is more an attention to detail kind of thing for me. And I understand that the logistics of manufacturing something of this size and all these moving parts has got to be a logistical challenge to say the least. But this end part of this that extends, your micro adjuster's right in this T-slot. Well, when this is shut, and you loosen your adjuster, you can't get it across that gap, and they're just slightly off. And I don't know, maybe it's just a matter of beveling those a little bit on the edges. I'm not sure what the manufacturing solution for that is, but I just think it's something that would be very nice for them to consider. For me, it takes what is otherwise an absolutely excellent piece of equipment in almost every way, and just adds a flaw that I think was an oversight. So I would highly suggest that they look into getting those to line up. I think that's pretty important for ease of using these stops. Next, we're going to talk about the table saw as a unit. It's very well built, very well constructed. It's very thought out. You can tell by looking around it. A really good fit and finish on it. It has the 4 horsepower motor in it. It's got the sliding dovetail trunnion in it. It's just really a nice machine. I'm very, very pleased with that. There are, however, a few things that I think maybe could use a little attention, or maybe it's just me, and maybe it's just what I got, what they had at the time. The tabletops, as far as the right wing and the left wing that come with it, the machine surface on it has a different finish than the main table. And that goes for both wings. And I'm sure it's just a matter of what they use to finish them. Obviously, they are done in a different place. But, for me, it was not the biggest fan. I think that those should be either manufactured in the same location, or they should get with those manufacturers to make sure that they're finishing these up in the same way. So next, the EWP 8365 wing came just fine, looks beautifully machined. Bevel's nice on it, matches the rest of the table. Easy install, no complaints at all there. I move on to the RF36i router fence system. This thing is just a beast. I'm so very impressed with this, and maybe I'm just easier to impress as I haven't worked with a lot of these. But there's a lot of thought that went into this, and I think it's a really nice piece of equipment. I really don't have any complaints about it. I haven't used it yet, but having used similar things before, I can't imagine what that would be. If I had any suggestion whatsoever for this to Harvey, when you adjust this micro adjuster here for the spoil board on this side, and it adjusts out, the fence of course does not move with it. And because of that, if you're using a guide system or something like this, it can really make an awkward angle, make some awkward situations there. So that was really and even that I'm sure can be worked around, no problem. But I wanted to mention that if I had any suggestions, that's what it would be. The RT800 router table, this thing is just a monster. That is one huge chunk of steel. It's got a great finish on it. The grooves are nice and clean. It's really a nice table. The only two issues that I had, one, and I did confirm with Harvey that it was probably a manufacturing error at the time, all of the set screws that were in this table around this lift should have been put in with the Allen head down instead of up. So that was just a manufacturing thing. I'm sure that's, if not already been corrected, it will be. The other issue that I had, and this one, it's very trivial for most people. For me, it kind of drives me nuts, just because of the kind of person that I am. The bevel on the front of this, because this whole table has a bevel cut on the front edge. The one on the RT800 is not the same cut. It is slightly off by a couple degrees and looks like maybe not as deep. So there is a lip right there, and it doesn't, it doesn't flow very well, but that's me. I'm just nitpicking at that point, but it's the only other thing I found with a table that really could use some improvement. The RTDC dust collection cabinet. I really have no complaints here either. It's a really nice dust collection cabinet. It bolted up really easy. The fit and finish on it is really nice. It's got very nice hinges, a nice latch, looks really good. So no complaints there. Outside of the Harvey stuff, the other really only two pieces I really have any kind of comment on is the Bora base, for one. Is a very nice base, very sturdy, holds up to 1,500 pounds, pretty well thought out. I think it works, works as intended, and I really like the low profile fit of the cabinet down in it. Now I did have some problems with the wheels where they didn't want to roll right. I did contact their customer service, talk to them about it. They did send me out some new wheels. I have not put those on yet. I will update you when I do to see if that did solve my issue, that they just didn't want to move right. But other than that, it's worked really great. The last thing I'll comment on is the Wixey digital gauge that I put on here. Now this is probably a bit of overkill for most. I just really liked the idea of it, the idea of having the digital readout, the idea of repeatability and the accuracy of it. The only thing I can think of to comment on for this is the casing for the gauge itself. It's all plastic. In a wood shop, things get clunked around a lot. Now, I don't know, I'm sure this is a very strong ABS plastic or something of that nature, but I really would like to see that in some type of an aluminum or something of that nature. I think that would be a very nice addition to having this. So lastly, I'd like to give a special shout out to Harvey, their customer service team. They've been phenomenal for answering my questions, getting me help when I needed it, guiding me on, hey, am I doing this right or not? They had no input, no influence as far as these videos go. It's just me and my machine showing you what I did. They've been super, super helpful. I also want to give a shout out to Bora's customer service team on correcting these wheels. No trouble out of them at all. Took care of everything under warranty. And hopefully, when I do get a moment to put those on, that will solve that problem. I'm sure it will. Also, a quick shout out to Justum's customer service. I know there was some availability issues, and I think it might have just been a different kind of issue on the Master Lift 2. They did show they were out of stock for a while or something of that nature, and I happened to catch it as well. So I called them and I said, hey, I've got this video I'm publishing, and I want to make sure that this part is available and still being made. Oh, it's available. They said, yeah, we've got them. I don't know. I don't know what happened. So they're there, just so you know on that. So if you got anything out of this video, this whole build series for that matter, consider giving me a like for the video. Any other video along this series that you see that you might have found useful, go back, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you like this kind of content. I know a lot of these have been long form, and that's not always so popular on a medium like YouTube. But I really wanted to get into the nuts and bolts of a lot of it and just show you how I went along with doing it. Because sometimes in those really short videos, I feel some things get missed and leave a lot of questions, and I'm sure I didn't answer them all either. Speaking of that, if you have questions, find the video that pertains to that particular component and ask. I will definitely read all of my comments. I will reply whenever I can with whatever I can. And there are lots of other people that have done maybe not this build, but something similar, or the part you're thinking about, or the part you want to talk about. Go to that video, ask the question, leave a comment about it. Did you use it? How did you like it? Did you find a better way to install it? That's what this is all about. This is all about sharing that information. So with that, I will leave you with a big thank you for this whole series and the interactions that I've gotten thus far on it. I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun. I will catch you guys next time. Have a fantastic day.